so
Hey,
awkward.
welcome back, Lee.
Baby, I like it raw. What the fuck are you talking about?
No,
just now?
dude, you're gonna have to go back and listen to that.
You'll listen to
I-
the show sooner or later.
I'm so curious.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's you played right.
It was
into
about it was about me, wasn't it?
No,
Not at all.
That was why
Not at
I
all.
heard the penis and the grindage and all that. That's why I came in and said what I said.
Lee, you should always expect that everything is about you.
I just played right into it. That's fine.
Yes.
Did it. I did it. It's a thing.
yeah. So, how we doing?
Good. Talking to me still?
Super. Well, yeah, I said we.
I'm great. You know, it's great to be on this episode. And one thing
Is this
that
the fourth show now? Third show?
It's first
Second?
show.
First.
Show.
First
Always
show?
the first show.
Hey, welcome to
Today?
the first show, everybody.
we're the first show, episode 1 again.
Airing in October.
Yes. How old are we going to keep that joke up?
As long as I can.
I mean, we've only been recording for 2 years.
This
so
is the
I
last
mean,
time. It's the
Has-
last time.
As
Yeah, I
long
feel
as
like
I
that
keep,
one felt dead, so we're done with it.
as long as I keep the Spider-Man.
But
memes
it is
going.
the first time we're talking about a new topic.
What are we
What
talking
What is the
about?
new topic?
Lee-
So
Lee's
Dupe wanted to
grinding?
go on this hippie route one day, and you know we were working out, and Dupe was like, "Man, I just love all my brothers, brother." And he was like talking to me. He's like, "You know, we just want to talk about our brotherhood and our bond and what has made us last all these years." And I said, "Fuck you! I hate every single one of you motherfuckers." Like, what the fuck you mean, fucking brotherhood, dude? Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, if I'm not contractually obligated to stay on this podcast every Monday, you wouldn't see my ass.
If there wasn't so much money put into this,
So much money and so much effort. I mean, Rick has a new goal of fucking getting goddamn Portman now that, that shit doesn't pay for itself. Like,
guys,
goddamn.
can I break in really quick since you brought that up? I got to talk to you about this since the last show. I've made a
Yes.
decision. I might have to take a sabbatical from the show to focus on my future relationship with Natalie Portman. So
What a way to break up that
Yeah,
brotherhood.
that
do with that what you will.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Rick, it
so-
wouldn't be the first time we quit. Probably won't be the last. So, dude,
No,
did I do a
again,
good
I- that won't
recreation of you,
happen.
brother?
I hear divorce is
Dude.
expensive and she makes all the money. So Natalie, I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
Whoa!
Wait,
Did
you're
you
backing out of it? That was quick. That wasn't even
I
one
have
whole
to.
episode.
I gave
Well,
you
I thought about-
74-26.
I thought
That's
about
true.
the ramifications of lawyer fees and
You don't need to get divorced. You just have Rachel in on it.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
holy.
Come on.
Oh yeah. All right,
Rick
never
now
mind. I'm
has
back
another
in.
boner.
Back in. And if Rachel's in
can't
on it,
stand up
I'm
for 10
going
minutes.
80-20.
Or 4 hours, but take a pill.
I don't know why I'm on this podcast.
I don't know why I'm
All
on
right,
the
hey,
podcast
Duper, tell
either.
us about your brotherhood. Well, I got a boner.
brother.
What the fuck?
So yeah, that was a perfect recreation of our workout, Greg.
So hard right now.
I don't.
Rick
So
has
this-
seriously gone down the creepy path for
This
these
is
last
more.
So
couple
stupid.
episodes.
All right, so what are we doing? Let's talk about brotherhood.
Yeah, let's talk about Brotherhood because I don't always fully understand why I'm still friends with you guys. Because
God
at this
damn.
moment, it's one of those moments where like Greg brings up this really good point about how we share this bond and we've been through thick and thin together, and no matter what kind of happens and no matter how much shit we talk to each other on the podcast, we always come out stronger, right? Like we grow closer together. And then there's moments like right now in the podcast where you guys are just so immoral and just so
Did you say immoral?
I
Yes,
know.
you
Immoral?
guys are just-
Why am I immoral?
Are you better than me, dude?
maybe.
Is it
You
because
guys
I
are
told
talking
him
about-
to get Rachel involved?
yeah, you guys are trying to shake down Natalie Portman now. I
Well,
mean,
it's,
take
it's
down.
not
Nobody's
adultery. It's
shaking
not
anything
adultery if
down.
they're both doing it.
no, it is. It is.
Duper, this
No, it's
isn't
not.
nobody's forcing anybody here. This is just the way life is. You just
Yeah.
have to accept.
Maybe I need
So,
to
Dude,
rethink.
is this you breaking up with us again?
What are you doing? I thought we were going to talk about brotherhood. Now you're breaking up.
So no, I thought it would be good to give some insight because, I mean, some people have given us feedback like, why are you guys even friends? Right? Like all
I
you
get
guys
that a
do,
lot.
I want
All
that
you guys-
person's name and number.
all you guys do is attack one another. You guys are vicious. Like you guys sound like you don't even like one another. Josh is
Duper,
constantly
did your
asking me,
girlfriend pull you aside and ask you this shit?
no, but it was one of the wives on the show. But um
Oh, okay. He figured out how to raise his hand without having to push the button.
I know the emoji thing isn't popping up though.
Greg's
You gotta
hand
hold
went
it
up.
like this.
Greg's wife, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, but then,
My wife has said that multiple times. She goes, because I told her, I said, me and my friends are a bunch of fucking assholes. No, you're not. I'm fine.
She's
And
been
then
saying
because we
that
used
for
to never
15
talk to
years.
each other,
Yeah.
and then during
Right.
COVID, we decided to make a podcast. And then she started listening to some of it. She won't even listen to our episodes anymore. She's like, "You guys are such fucking assholes to each other." She's like, "I cannot believe you guys are friends." And I'm like, I don't get it either. It's just we compliment each other and our assholishness. Like
Realistically,
all we do every day is try to figure out ways in which we control each other.
that is a large part of my day. And then there's actually moments in my life when I know Rick is triggered, and I'll just tell random people on the street, like I'll just be walking on the street randomly, pull over a stranger, and just like, hey, I got him today. Like I triggered Rick so good. Let me tell you about it. And then they just roll their eyes and they tell me to go away. But it's a good time. It is fun.
it really, honestly, I will say, so everybody knows we're assholes to each other because we know we don't take it seriously. Like, honestly, I don't think it's serious. I don't, obviously.
Some
I don't
things
threat
get
back.
taken more serious than others.
That's Greg.
Some wounds take a while to
Yes,
heal.
I know. Oh, we're not getting into this, Greg.
No, I'm over it now. I'm just saying that
He's
some
so
wounds,
emotional.
Greg
like,
did have a
some
10-year
knives that you stuck in are larger than other knives.
Okay, so
that's all I'll say.
one thing we should probably lead off with, right? Duper and I are probably the best of the trolls to each other. Like we're vicious. I'm not gonna lie. We're pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
fun.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from us just having that bond because we're all just that close, right? So we can say the wildest and craziest things to one another, and it's not gonna fracture that friendship, right? Like the things that we say to one another, you cannot just say to so many of your coworkers, right? Or most of
You
your
can't even
your
say to other friends. Greg learned.
Yeah. You,
I've lost friends trying to say the same thing.
no stand-up routines for Greg.
I can no longer see Rick or Lee in California anymore because of
Yes, you can.
things I've said.
You can.
go
You're
to
just not invited to any more parties.
Then why
If
come
there's-
out, Lee?
If there's a
God.
microphone, Greg's not allowed. That's basically the rule. That's it.
yeah, there's been no more parties since that last party. Like I brought Greg out there from one party, all parties are done. Like
It was a good
4th of
party though.
July ish. Nah, not really.
yeah.
No, yeah, I know. So some would say I was the life of that party.
Oh, you were the
that.
life of the party,
You
but
were
I
half
went
of
to
it.
bed before anything bad happened. I will say I'm pretty proud of myself that in my older age I've learned how to avoid the real scandals. Like I'm there.
So that
Bring it
does
out.
bring up a good question. How many people? So at least that person who doesn't like me at least had the gall to tell me that they don't like me anymore, right? How many people just in happenstance intentionally refuse to be around any of us because of the way we are to each other?
Just Greg. What's the odds on that, Lee?
Jesus Christ.
Is that also 80-20? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. We have a
60-40.
very tight knit group. There's a tight knit group here, and our extended group of friends. Someone's talked to me about this, and I can't remember who it was recently, but they were talking about how like they're amazed that we have the same friends for decades and decades and decades, and a lot of people don't even talk to the same people they talked to a few years ago, and like life gets in the way and they don't keep in touch and stuff. And I'm really bad at it. And I was actually just talking about this weekend because I'm not sure. I think we talked about it, but an old friend of ours passed away about a week ago, and I thought about it and I was like, man, I didn't see her at all for once I moved to Vegas, and I just didn't see her after that. And I could have reached out, and I didn't. But the very, very tight part of this group has been around regardless of where we are, where we live. And it's funny because you would think it'd be like a small tight knit group like you see in a movie or something where it's like, yeah, these 4 guys forever, it's like a fucking Hangover or something. And really
Only if we have makeout scenes.
there's like 20 of us.
Giggity.
Like it's a big group. honestly. And we all stay close, and we all know we're assholes. And the big thing is we're all very, very different. And,
Yeah,
and as we get
you know
older,
what's-
we're all very, very, very different in our ideology and how we do things. And it doesn't affect us. We're all still close together. We all care about each other. So
what
it's
else is
weird.
interesting about the group is like when we integrate new people into the group, like they just kind of take on the personalities too, right? Like they realize that it's just anything goes, right? So people will just come into the group and just say the wildest shit, man, and we just laugh, right? Like nobody's gonna get overly offended unless Greg's saying it. And we just
Sorry.
roll with the punches, though, right? And it's kind of funny how people who come into the group are kind of that they kind of just fit in with the rest of the group, right?
Sometimes.
With that Nicholas, right? And
Sometimes.
if they don't, then they don't stay, right? And that's okay. There's no hard feelings around that. None.
I got an example of a person that didn't stick around with the group. That just triggered me right now. And you guys might know this, but Duper will. Duper, you remember when we lived in Vegas and Rachel moved in, where we were living together, and we had that house, cool little house, and one of her friends from high school, close friend, came over. I can't remember her name, but I won't say it on the air anyways.
Mhm.
But she came over and she was, and it's funny because maybe I've always been the same guy I am, right? And
Yeah.
she's very at her age, and we were young. We're in our 20s, late 20s, and she was very politically minded, and she was, for the cause of certain things, and we knew it, and we didn't believe anything we said, but we were also all just standing around bullshitting and razzing each other and just kind of digging in on stuff. And I remember us making just a few jokes, not even a lot, and they weren't even that bad, but they were funny. And she never came around again. Like, she did not want to be friends with Rachel anymore after that, because she basically told her, like, you picked him or me at that point. But Rachel and I had been together for years, and she's like, dude, where am I gonna go? Like, that's stupid. So yeah, I just remember her. But then we had another friend, and again, no names here, but I remember distinctly when we were still living out here before we moved to Vegas, we found out she slept with one of our friends' dads. And we kept it a secret. Very long.
Way to put her out there, yeah.
No, nobody knows who we're talking about. And I distinctly remember she was giving Duper and I a ride back to my grandma's house, because I was still living at my grandma's, and Duper stayed there too. And we're pissed drunk, and we're all making jokes in the car, and we called her out for it. Just like, it just came out of nowhere, and there was this pause of shock, and then we all start dying laughing. She's laughing. She hits the brakes on the car so hard.
Yeah.
It was like a TV, like a commercial, or like a fucking funny movie. You just see the car screech to a halt in the middle of the street. She's like, "Get the fuck out!" Well, she's she literally kicks us out of the car about fucking 3 blocks away from the house. We walk home dying laughing, thinking, okay, we might have lost a friend. And 2 months later, Duper, that was when Rick had that charm, and Rick hung out with her, so she was still. So, I'm just saying, like, some people get our humor and some people don't. Sometimes it is a little harsh and stupid, but over the years we've all grown thick enough skin that we can make fun of each other, and then at the same time we very much love each other, and we still show up.
I remember we used to wrestle all the time, like, and I think that's just like 20-year-old, like, getting the testosterone out, like, breaking tables and bed frames.
About Rick and Duper's
and
Fight
fucking...
Club that you're not supposed to be talking about?
What? Yes. And then, but I'm so
rule
glad
number 1,
that
you don't talk about Rick and Duper's Fight Club.
Dude, do you remember the kendo sticks?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Oh God.
Yes.
So many broken fingers.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Frank is too. Frank had that bed that his great grandfather had made, right? It was
100 years old.
It was handcrafted, and it was this. Frank made the mistake of having these huge 4th of July parties at his house, and then he had these irresponsible kids there. And he Frank was a little bit older than the rest of us,
meaning us,
or still is, obviously. But he would have these huge parties, and he has this very sentimental, amazing piece of just lineage in his living room, and Rick's drunk ass decides to pass out on that bed.
Yeah, I went to sleep because it's a bed.
Because it's a bed in the living room. Where else?
I'm tired. I see a bed.
Where else would it be, right? And it's this 100-year-old bed, and like Greg was doing the imitation of me a little while ago, and I went full atomic leg drop on him and broke that bed in half. That was one of those moments where I took it too far. Like, yeah, because I just thought it would be funny to leg drop Rick.
Yeah, I break relationships. I don't break furniture.
Yeah,
So I guess that's my saving grace.
I think furniture's better to break though. I'm just gonna throw that
Probably right.
I don't know if I had to judge it. I don't know. There's really no explanation. I don't know if we have one, other than when we aren't being total assholes to each other. We are there for each other when we're going through some hard shit, and so that's helpful.
That is the truth.
And a lot of our backgrounds, aside from Lee, who came from a perfect white family, middle class,
Jesus
and
Christ.
everything was fantastic for him, and he never had to fucking want for anything in his life. The other three of us, good for you, Lee.
Really? Really?
You silver spoon fed motherfucker.
Really? Yeah. You know what? Fuck you guys and your non-privileged.
The other three of us grew up with weird homes and weird situations, and weird parents or just weird shit that we had to grow up and grow up through. So I think that would help because we were all kind of similar in that situation, and that got us through it.
ODB got me through it, man.
ODB?
ODB got me through it.
Yeah, he kept it raw for you.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree
Shimmy,
with
shimmy,
that.
yeah.
That was inappropriate, Duper.
Well, this isn't a PG rated show. It's explicit.
Are you playing this for your daughter?
No.
You should be. You know what PG
well,
means?
When?
Parental guidance.
I like it raw is about cookie dough.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Man, you guys threw me off track.
Or your spinach on your pizza.
But it is that
Gross.
those hardships that we faced individually, and then being able to lean on one another on hard times, and being able to make jokes, right, and being able to make light of any dark situation, and then
like your room.
Why
is it so fucking dark?
I'm gonna buy him a $5 ring light. I'm gonna help him out.
No, he turned off the light before we recorded today.
That's funny though. Okay, so
he did that on purpose.
We record on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
But Zoom has a setting to where you can set it for low light mode, and you still look fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't give him the tech support while we're on the show.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
But anyway, shit, you guys are so good at throwing me off track.
Sorry, brother.
Assholes.
Didn't mean to do that, brother.
I can
drop me,
brother.
I can also tell you guys though, whenever times get really dark and really bad, this group of guys is always there for each other, right? Like, we're not just always shitting on each other, but when I've gone through the hardest times of my life, dude, without a doubt, you guys have been there, and I appreciated all that support, and you guys kept me uplifted, and I try to do that for you guys as well when you need it. And I know no matter the amount of shit that we talk, even if we do make another one angry, right? Like, let's say I take a joke too far, or Rick takes a joke too far, and we actually do get a little bit butthurt for a little bit. When real shit happens, dude, that goes to the side. It doesn't matter, right? Like, we're gonna get to that real situation, and we're gonna be there to support one another. And I know, no matter how far left Rick becomes and how purple he dyes his hair,
how patriotic you get,
or if he cuts his dick off,
if you join
none of those things matter.
Alt-right society in the middle of Oklahoma.
None of those things matter, no matter how far we are separated.
What if he moves to Alabama?
Who, Duper?
Yeah.
Well, there's no way to get a hold of them there because they don't even know how to use the telephone.
They don't have internet.
Technology dies in Alabama.
No, so it's perfect for him then.
But regardless of whatever happens, I know you guys got my back, and I know I got your guys' back. So,
yeah, you guys got me through COVID twice.
I remember that you made such a big deal about it.
Hashtag like first one.
The first one he made.
First one.
Thought he was gonna die. Remember?
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah.
The first one was worse than the second one.
Well, that was the real violent strain. That's why.
Yeah.
He did it from the back of the ambulance and everything. Like,
he's doing TikToks. Hey guys, sorry to sound so mid with my voice. Like and subscribe. and then he shut up and he started acting like an NPC for 4 hours to make money.
I've just learned that Rick is wrong on most things. Like,
that's so not true.
That's what I've learned.
Welcome to my world, buddy.
So when he tries to set you up with somebody and he's like, dude, hot lips, such hot lips, bro, hot lips. And then you get there and nothing else is hot but the lips.
Was I lying?
I learned right then and there not to listen to
Well,
Rick
first of all,
at all.
I feel like there's a story here, Greg.
There
Yeah, I
is.
don't
I
know
just
the
shared
story.
it.
I don't even remember this, but I can tell you right now, I was telling you the truth. So
Was she one of the ones that he tried to kick out that one night at his house?
No, this was
Oh.
Well,
Who
okay,
was
so
this?
we got to add context. Like the listeners don't know what
Okay,
we're talking
so
about.
I just
story
did.
time.
we've talked about the kick
Story
out
time.
thing before.
We have?
Yeah, we have, but let's recap.
not
it
on
again.
a new podcast.
Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
Go ahead, dude.
Okay,
No,
so
no.
start off with Rachel had to work at
No.
in the morning.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut
she
up.
was
So we
there.
had
Mad at me.
we had the garage, man. We were all Rick and Greg and I, and we all had this. We were sharing this house. There's also we also had one more roommate, but she wasn't so close to us. But we would just hang out in the garage every night. We were just hanging out. It was just like super chill. We would have people over, and most of the time it was just the guys. And then our boy Lee shows up with some girls one night, right? And we're just chilling, having a good time, smoking, drinking.
At a boily.
Not a boy.
Just- well, he doesn't just bring one or two.
Smoking
brings a-
cigarettes, by the way.
He-
None of
he
us ever
brings-
got into pot, and it was weird. I
he
thought we
brings-
would all been potheads.
He brings a whole flock of them, a whole flock of girls.
One for
right?
everyone.
And they're all cute. They were all cute. And then Rick is over here on the recliner, and he's got his girlfriend at the time, Rachel, laying on his lap. And she's nestled up next to him. And mind you, Rick has his own damn bedroom. And Rick has his own damn bedroom, not just next to the garage, but down the damn hall on the left-hand side away from the garage. He is as far away from this possible situation as you could get if he just got off his lazy fat ass and went to his bedroom.
I wasn't fat
'Cause-
then, first of all.
Because
Dave.
that's
He was
where
chubby then.
that's where
Wasn't even
people,
chubby then.
because that's where people sleep. People sleep in their bedroom, right? So we're actually all having a good time. We're all chatting it up. Things are going off pretty well that night. And then Rick him and Rachel both asleep over in that recliner, and like a meerkat, he pops up, just eyes wide open. If I don't know you, get the hell out. He was like Vince McMahon coming down to the ring. Like everybody, all the
He
girls,
said he popped up like a meerkat.
all the girls are just sitting there staring at each other, like dumbfounded. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. And I'm trying to play it off like, no, ladies, it's all right. Don't worry about it. He's just a grumpy ass old man. He doesn't know what's going on. He's on too many medications. It's fine. And Rick's like, no, it is not fine.
Was on
If I don't know you, get out. And so like it just got so awkward after like 5 minutes of sitting there in silence that they left.
And by
And
the
then-
way, the only ones that Rick didn't know were the girls.
Yeah.
So there was still 10 people in the garage. It just wasn't the girls.
And it was probably louder at that point too.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause once the girls are gone, there's no more side conversations, no more whispering, right? Like now it's just like the guys yelling at each other, screaming. No,
Rick,
no.
I hope you had a good day at work the next day, you asshole.
I mean, I was still tired and cranky.
You know what you could have done?
What?
Gone to your bedroom, down the hall, far
No, see,
away from
what
everybody.
he's not talking about are the two dumb bitches that were in the fucking bathroom for a fucking half an hour, loud as fuck. That's actually why I got in trouble. It wasn't the garage. Nobody cared about the garage. It was that these chicks were just in there and they're fucking doing lines and Molly and shit in our bathroom, loud as fuck. And like that is what got me in trouble. And she's like, "You need to deal with this now." And I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm just trying to sleep."
That set the expectations for that entire marriage.
I don't think anybody was doing lines in Molly, but
Fucking Molly.
Yeah, where
and
was our
lines.
invite?
yeah.
Someone had Quaaludes. They went back to 1968.
So,
got
so what
some
you're saying is
Quaaludes.
two girls went to the bathroom and they were laughing
They
with
had
each
one
other
cup.
about
It was fucked up.
which
in there.
guys they were interested in and pissed you off.
No, they weren't talking about any of that. They were literally doing lines. They had a cup. They were shy.
Rick-
There was
Rick
like it was just
pissed
weird.
off they weren't talking about him. Like that's
That's
all
very
it
true.
was. That's all it was.
Everyone I don't know, get the fuck out.
That was a good time. You know what? I take back all the Brotherhood shit, dude. You're an asshole, Rick. I don't
You're
know
welcome.
why we're still friends. Oh man.
We all
What?
could have gotten laid that night, Rick. Thanks.
Okay,
The
so
one
story
story,
time is
and
over.
first of all, it wouldn't have happened because that was the only. Like, let me tell you how many times we had girls there, and that could have been a situation. The only person that got laid was Lee. So, fuck you.
Don't put that
I mean,
out there. Greg did it too.
I mean,
Duper-
okay.
Duper
The
did it
things
too.
happened, but it didn't
I think
happen
things were
nearly.
conceived
You
in
guys
your
were
bathroom.
batting well below the Mendoza line. Let me just throw it out there for like. Let's think about this. You were not even at a 250.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because we had a great wingman in Rick who kicked everybody fucking out of the house.
Yeah.
It's hard to bat 100 or 1,000, whatever that number is. I don't know.
No, man. I can only set him up, Rick. You keep knocking him down, though.
Yeah,
Man.
it's tough.
Like I said, folks, don't listen to Rick.
Yeah, I can tell you about another time you guys were assholes. I spent there was like 3 months of my life where Foofy was like, "Hey man, I'll be the greatest wingman you ever wanted." And I'm like, "Sweet, dude." So I just hung out with our one gay friend at the time, and we were going out to like bars. And no joke, he was the greatest wingman I've ever had in my life. Like, he was not. It was not hard, right? No other alphas there. He's just like, "Dude, I'm just gonna line them up. Like, just come
No
over and meet
other
some
alphas
girls.
there.
Gotcha. You're gonna have a great time." And literally every other friend I had thought we were fucking for the whole time. And I was like, I don't even care what you say. Like, I can't. There was an Air Force chick. I don't even remember her name because of Foofy. Thank you so much. And you guys are like, "Man, you guys are really. Are you guys like an item now?"
Whoa. So
And I'm like,
wait.
"God damn it."
Are we just gonna gloss over the fact that you called yourself an alpha?
Quite the alpha.
No.
100% the alpha.
You were the alpha.
I'm more alpha than you are. I don't have to inject my biceps
With what?
to project my alpha.
Project what?
My alpha.
Your alpha?
Yeah.
I don't claim to be an alpha, so I mean that's fine.
But you do.
When do I? When am I claiming it?
What?
When am I claiming it? I've played into it in the past because you guys used to call me an alpha, and then I might have said that in the podcast to play along, but I never claimed to be an alpha.
What? Sorry, I got distracted.
I'm just waiting to see where this goes.
But
'cause,
Rick,
you know,
you just called yourself an alpha,
Okay.
you did,
or what?
and we
what-
got it on recording.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now
Now he's texting.
Like,
No. So okay, like as this is happening, I actually got notified. This is gonna sound cheesy.
you
My
just got some alpha shit to
family,
do.
when my uncle was sick, one of my aunts had this idea that she realized that we lost our great grandma around the same time. She was like, "You know what we need to do is we need to get all the family recipes together, because in my family everybody knows how to cook and there's some good shit, in my extended family." So she had a few of us start putting together a cookbook, and this was 3 years ago. Totally forgot about this. 4 years ago. And she just sent me a notification saying, "Hey, guess what? The cookbook's done." And I got a digital copy and then a hard copy coming, but I got a digital copy of this. And I'm really excited about that. And it's got like all my family and the history and some pictures and 177 recipes.
Nice, man. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's really
That's
cool.
some
Sorry.
alpha shit of her to do right there.
That is, it sounds like she had the alpha role in that situation.
Like, I have really cool recipes in here.
Doesn't even care about this alpha shit.
He's done. He's
Like
over
he
it.
is going 100% Joe Biden on this, and he's not even gonna. address the
Alphas
topic.
don't care what they say, bro. They just say it
Like,
once. That's it.
I do what I
Alphas
want.
don't need to repeat themselves
I
to
don't need to
you.
say
Who the
anything.
fuck do you think you are that an
Yeah.
alpha needs to repeat themselves?
Why are you even asking me any more questions?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
Did I say you could speak? I don't know. I don't know what
So
else.
you got Natalie Portman, brother, on the way.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Ah,
Baby,
so
I like it raw.
Holy shit. So this
Uh-oh.
is called Tata's Champagne Punch. This is literally what it is. 6 bottles of champagne, a fifth of vodka, 2 quarts of 7-Up or ginger ale. That's a
sounds like
recipe.
a good time. Sounds like a garage party.
That sounds like you're getting down.
That sounds like a headache.
That's
It
in
does
the
sound
cookbook.
like a headache. That's like
Yeah,
instant
champagne.
headache, by the way.
Champagne is a headache.
But you'll
That's a
have a good New
terrible
Year's
hangover.
Eve.
That is that is intense. Those are some
What was it? Tata's Yayas? What was it called?
so my great grandfather, everybody called him Tata. T-A-T-A.
Yeah, I know. Well, I figured that. But what was the recipe? Tata's
I gotta
what?
go back to it. Champagne punch.
Oh, okay.
What's the closest champagne lunch or brunch that you've ever participated in, Greg? Because when I was in the military, we used to get like a big cooler, like you have those big ice coolers, and we would all just bring in a bottle, and we would
Did you
pour
just
it
call
in
it
there.
punch lunch?
I don't know what his thing was called. Yeah, it was punch or lunch. I don't know.
Talking
What
about
it's called.
brunch?
Brunch. Yeah.
Brunch?
Where it's breakfast and lunch.
Yeah. I don't know what was the recipe called.
Tata's champagne
Brunch.
Punch.
punch.
Punch, not brunch. I mean, I don't know. Day drinking, right?
I actually thought you were going to bring up a nice like brunch story that was
Yeah.
funny.
No.
Actually, the best
but-
brunch I've had in my life was on the Disney Cruise Line.
Oh,
at
of
one of
course
the
it was.
restaurants.
Holy shit, that's a weird one. Beef nut bread.
Oh, I bet you like that
What's a
one.
beef nut?
Beef
Do
nut
do
bread.
elaborate.
It's a half pound of ground beef, flour, sugar, obviously baking powder to make the bread, chopped walnuts, egg, butter, a cup of buttermilk, some butter, and vanilla. Make it into a bread.
Okay.
I don't know if that sounds good or not.
It's like that's some old school shit. You've ever seen?
Yeah,
have you ever seen
yeah,
like the
yeah.
old recipes from like the 40s and 50s?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's back before climate change and when they could just use meat
Why
however
do you
they
not
wanted.
believe in climate change?
Because
still?
it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
You
Well,
don't
it's
believe
not
in carbon
man-made.
dioxide or something? You know that exists, right?
Yeah, I understand that. I
Okay, you understand
that.
what carbon dioxide is?
Okay, so I think
Just
Talking
trying to
about carbon
understand.
dioxide or carbon monoxide
Both.
the onus is actually
Oh.
more on you than it is on me to prove that
or
we're
carbon
changing the earth
sulfuride?
through
Is that a thing?
man
I have no
action.
idea.
Like,
I don't think that's a thing.
I doubt that man's actions on this planet is actually causing global warming to the scale that they claim that it is.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
I
Why would
really love this brotherly talk that we're gonna have.
My chili recipe made it.
this guy, man. This is why nobody likes you, Rick. Because this podcast is really taking a
No, because here's the
downward
thing,
turn.
Duper. You're gonna tell me about like how man doesn't have any.
Dude, we were talking about Brotherhood.
We have
and-
over a billion cars sitting on the road, right? Some
Yes.
ridiculous number like that, and they're all internal combustion engines that expel carbon.
Okay.
Okay, did we have that 10,000 years ago? Did we have that 150 years ago? Did we have that before the Industrial Revolution?
Did we have that 60,000 years ago when it was hot as hell too?
Did we 60,000 years ago? It was hot as hell.
Dude, yeah, the Earth has gone through cycles, man.
And it has nothing.
It's been hot. It's been hot prior.
So you're telling me right now, like the fact that the carbon that
it's been
encapsulates
hotter
heat
than it
has
is currently.
nothing to do with what we're dealing with right
It's
now.
been hotter than it is currently. Do you think that humans caused that when the dinosaurs?
Dude, you know what's
were
crazy?
around?
A billion years ago, then that's a real number. It was even hotter because there was only volcanoes and magma.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? I'm telling you right now, if you look at the models and you take it from like the Industrial Revolution on, you're going to see a huge spike in global warming because we started to use steam power, combustion engines, coal, fire. We were burning a fuck ton more than we were before. There's a difference. We have something to do with it. That's really, it's kind of obtuse not to acknowledge the fact that we do contribute to this. Now, here's my problem. And this is coming from the libtard. Here's my argument. I don't like what solar panels do.
Why?
I think that you have to damage a lot of land to put a lot of solar out there. And there's no long-term storage for it, right? They haven't figured out how to do that and to distribute it out widely. It has to be local and you can't keep that energy that you get. So I'm not a big fan of it.
So what would you go with instead?
Offshore wind energy.
Offshore wind energy.
Mhm.
That's not. Okay, so
What? It makes sense.
Dr. John Clauser, who's a Nobel priest or a
Priest?
Nobel
He's a
and
Nobel
esteemed
priest.
Nobel
Prize winner and physicist. He also doesn't believe in climate change. His direct quote on June 26, 2023 at the Quantum Korea 2023 Seoul lecture, I don't believe there is a climate crisis. Are you denying the experts?
So one expert.
One expert. And you know what they've done to him?
Hmm.
They've canceled all of his future speeches.
Why?
Because he said this. You cannot speak out against the crisis because even
Why are you
if
calling it a
you-
crisis? I thought it didn't exist.
because it doesn't exist. I'm
But you
using
just
your
called it a
terminology.
crisis, so you obviously see a concern.
I don't see a concern. I really
Why are you
don't.
calling it a crisis?
Dude, I drive a car that emits more emissions than anything else on this planet. Like I at this point I just drive a locomotive, a steam powered, coal powered locomotive, just to get everywhere in town,
So,
just to prove you guys are wrong.
quick Google search here. Survey of scientists' views on climate change. Krista Myers led a paper which surveyed 2,780 Earth scientists that do this kind of research.
Mhm.
Depending on their expertise, between 91% of all scientists to 100% of climate scientists with high levels of expertise, 20 plus papers published, agreed that human activity is causing climate change.
So 9%
So
disagree.
the one dude versus that's just
9%.
2,700.
9%.
91%.
So like 260%, 260 scientists there disagreed with it. And you got to think about
That's
how
of
brave
all
they are.
scientists, but 100% of those that actually have expertise, right?
Yeah, and 260 of them disagree with your statement.
That's all scientists, but 100% of all climate scientists agreed.
So 100% of all the people in the field of
Who's to say they didn't get a
confirming the-
scientist? What? Who's to say they don't have a scientist there? It's like, well, I just look at fucking dinosaur bones. I don't really
Was
know much
Greta
about the
Thunberg
Earth.
Well,
there?
do you want to know why that happens? Because this guy who came out, Dr. Clauser, is claiming that he's been canceled. He's facing challenges in his career because the comments at the Soul Forum. In fact, exactly 1 month after giving a speech on June 26th, Dr. Clauser was set to present a detailed seminar on the climate to a monetary fund. But directly after hearing his comments, his lecture was immediately canceled.
Okay, hang
Because
on.
you can't speak out
Jeffrey
against it.
Michael Clauser, is that who it is?
What's his name?
What's his name?
John
Clauser.
Clauser.
Is he?
Is he in Bloodsport too?
Dr. John Clauser.
So he's an American theoretical and experimental physicist.
Mm-hmm.
He works in quantum mechanics. Does he work in climate science?
So Rick, so
I
do
know.
you-
Like
do you
that's
realize-
a real question there. Like,
no, real
did-
question.
did he do
you
anything
realize
on
that
climate?
at one point, scientists, the experts all on the planet thought the Earth was flat.
I'm just looking here. 'cause
That was the
you're talking
common
about a
mentality.
quantum mechanic scientist, right?
The common, just because that's the popular belief does not make it right. So you're telling me because it's the popular idea that it is 100% certain.
No, actually, I'm telling you because the people that study this and spend a lot more time doing this and are actual experts in this field are saying that this is actually true and can give you real proof. Not somebody that won a Nobel Prize in physics that is not climate.
Mhm.
So yeah, I when I go to the dentist, I'm not asking him to look at a mole on my leg. Yes, you're right. I do trust a climate scientist more than I would trust a guy that looks at quantum theory.
So an entire industry that's funded to find a specific outcome agrees on specific outcome.
So yes, an entire area that where they
Field.
fund to find
Yes.
out why.
No,
we're getting hotter every year.
no.
So you don't
To
believe that we
direct
have
it
more
towards-
extreme weather now? I'm just asking.
Okay, so oh man, do we really have more extreme? We don't.
Really?
We don't. We go through cycles.
No, we do.
Because
You're absolutely
since-
right. We do go through cycles.
And
That's
since
not
when? Since
I-
when is it more dangerous, as you would say?
When is it
more
more
extreme?
dangerous? It hasn't been more dangerous. That's the whole point.
Since when is it more extreme right now? The weather compared to what? What is the norm?
To what we have for recorded history.
And what is that?
As long as we've been around in the industrial age, I
100 years.
suppose.
100 years.
You think we only have 100 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we only have 100 years of actually record keeping of the temperature of the Earth. That's it. Everything else is through ice cores and icicles and the tree rings and all kinds of estimates. It's all estimates from there on out. And even that 100 years is questionable.
So wait,
because
hang on a second.
at the beginning of that 100 years, the technology was not reliable.
But we do have the
So-
technology now with carbon dating, and actually even more with certain kinds of radiological X-rays and certain scans. We're able to tell you what was happening with something 1,000 years ago, right? 1,000,000 years
We
ago.
can
We can tell you
estimate.
how
We
the
can
environment
estimate.
was, right? Looking at the soil, looking at the
estimate.
granite, right? We're able to do that.
We're estimating.
We're estimating. Well, you just told me that 60,000 years ago it was hotter than it was now. How do you know that?
Estimates.
So you're estimating, you're guessing, right?
So, but your guess
Yes.
is that
Okay.
guess is that the past 40 or 20 years, how long has this planet been around?
What are you gonna say, Lee?
I have two things to tell you guys. Number one, on this day in history, 1782, right? George Washington created the Purple Heart. Also,
I have one of those.
Also, in 2005, a trapped Russian sub was rescued on this day in history. Oh, don't forget
near the
that.
Titanic.
Don't forget that a Florida man was charged with flooding an emergency room after attacking a nurse and stripping today.
How did he flood it?
I don't know. I can read about it though.
Probably has. Probably
Man
has
in
something to do with
Southwest
the
Florida
Brotherhood.
has been charged with flooding a hospital's emergency room after attacking a nurse and stripping off his clothes, authorities said. The 53-year-old became agitated while in a waiting room at the North Kalia Hospital in Naples, Florida, on Saturday, according to a report from the Collier County Sheriff's Office. He barged into the emergency room, pushed a patient, and then pushed a nurse in the head. After the hospital staff got him into a room, in an effort to keep him from disturbing other patients, he took off his clothes and pulled a high-pressure water pipe from the wall.
Duper,
That's okay.
got a
Yeah.
question.
Oh, God, they're going back to it.
National Geographic, right?
Oh.
What are they funded by?
You tell me. I don't know.
Communists? What are you going to tell me? Like, what are they funded by?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's their funding?
So I'm
What's
actually
your
trying to
point?
bring it up right now. Damn it.
My point is, how long has the Earth been around?
Okay, well, hang
How
on.
long has the Earth been around?
How long has it been around? I mean, you're religious
what's the
now, so
estimate?
that's only
What's the
like
estimate?
4,000 years, right?
What's the estimate? What's your estimate?
The Earth?
Yes, the Earth.
Didn't they say it's like 4 billion now that it was created 4 billion years
Okay,
ago?
and you're going to tell me that the past 40 years or the past 100 years is the norm for this planet? What is the norm for this
Okay,
planet?
so again, 4 billion years ago we were being created.
For the weather
Million
to
years
be-
ago, 65 million years ago, we were a different planet. Yes, it does change over millions
Yes.
and millions of years. It doesn't rapidly change in 1,000 years. That's rapid change still because we are just a grain of sand in time.
Mhm.
That's what you're not.
And
The
it-
concept
but-
isn't there for you that we're bigger than it's bigger than you know. And when you see such a drastic change in just that grain of sand,
Mhm.
there's a fucking problem. Especially
So
when we're
what
probably
other
creating it.
what other probable causes could
Florida.
there be?
Florida's a fucking trip, dude. Oh my God. Just all this shit that I'm reading right now.
Okay,
I-
so
So here we go.
hold on.
I'm going to
ready
give
for
you a
this?
quote. Go ahead.
No, you guys are done. There's this
Oh, we're coming back.
there's this guy, right?
Mhm.
He brutally assaulted someone in the parking lot of a country club, right? He then goes off and gets a hole-in-one at the same country club, right? And he's on the news for his little 5 minutes of fame thing.
Mhm.
And police see him and they're like, that's the fucking guy. So they go and arrest him. So his hole-in-one actually got him arrested for the violent assault that took place in the parking lot.
damn, is that Trump
That's
too?
amazing. It is Trump, yes.
They
No,
got
I'm
his ass
sorry.
this
I'm
time.
sorry. It wasn't Trump. And it wasn't Obama, right?
No, we don't want the restricted service coming after us.
Right.
What was that first story about the hospital being flooded so then they could murder somebody? What happened?
So they could murder somebody.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking about climate change.
Oh God.
I was thinking about how Rick
No, the guy came in and stripped and punched a nurse and pushed someone and flooded the hospital.
Hmm.
So
probably
violent.
smoking a cigarette.
Somehow ripped a water
Dude, I
pipe
could
out of the
smoke a
wall.
cigarette right
I don't
now.
know. How the fuck do you rip a water pipe out of the
You guys
wall? Like,
made
did
me
he
wanna
grab
go
the
smoke a
sink and
cigarette
fucking
right
Hulk this
Yeah.
shit?
Dude had to be on meth or some kind of drug, right? I mean, that's
I
pretty
don't know.
intense.
We've seen Duper go smash mode. Probably not.
Rick, I'm going to ask you this
Duper
question.
smash.
What amount of climate crisis would it take for you to change the way you live?
What?
Greg,
What amount of climate crisis
Greg,
does
man.
it take for you to change
Greg,
your
I
life?
tried.
I know.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now. Are you
I'm
ready,
just going to
Duper?
say, what do you guys think about climate change? Is it real, like Rick says, or fake, like Duper says? Let us know on our social media outlets. You can find us on Facebook, on X, on Threads, on TikTok, on YouTube. Let us know. Do you want to know more about this topic, or would you like for us to do a completely different episode on this topic? Because we would love to do that, not on the tail end of a show where we talked about something completely different. But anyway, let us know your show thoughts at info@takewarning.network. Find us on all your favorite social media outlets and favorite podcast listening platforms. And I hope you all have a pleasant day.
You're welcome for this quality Take Warning content. Like and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Rate us wherever you can. And always share this fine product. Spread it like herpes in the 90s.